as chayil nimtzo verachoik mipninim michro botach bo lev banlo.
Doris and I met probably soon after she arrived, when she made Aliyah, which was in 1997. I arrived in 1996, so I was really the old-timer at that point. And we were amongst the very few who had come that were our age. So we were the trailblazers. And as a result, we got to be very friendly. Within that first year, Joe took ill, and it was a very difficult year for Doris. She was basically nursing him throughout that year. There were many incidents there were emergencies that he had to be taken to the hospital, and that's how Doris got introduced to the lack of medical services in the community that were nearby that could answer the call of this sort of situation. Shortly afterwards, Joe passed on, and she felt that there was something she wanted to do in his memory. Doris was unique in that she was a people person. She knew how to relate to people. She was warm, she was caring, she was devoted, she was charismatic. And that is how she was able to do what she did, irrespective of the fact that she spoke nearly no Hebrew. And she was able to enlist people who did speak Hebrew to speak on her behalf. She would be present, they would see her, and they were just very much taken by her presence and by her whole demeanor.
שמי מירב חדד, אני מזכירה בבית ספר עוזיאל בבית שמש, ואימא שלי חלתה בסרטן השד לפני שנה וחצי. צריכה לעבור טיפולים בהדסה, כימותרפיה והקרנות, והנגישות להדסה הייתה מאוד מאוד קשה. גם מבחינת להגיע עם רכב להדסה זה מאוד קשה, גם מבחינה תקציבית שהדלק עולה יקר, וגם החנייה בהדסה מאוד מאוד יקרה. וגם מבחינת הזמן, הפקקים, השעות, באיזושהי דרך השם של קרן יוסף בדקתי וראיתי שאפשר להיעזר בהם, ובאמת היינו עולים יום יום פעם בשבוע, הרבה פעמים דרך ההסעות של קרן יוסף התקשרנו. שירות מקסים, הנהגים מקסימים, השירות מקסים, הנגישות, הם תמיד מוכנים לעזור, ואני ראיתי עוד הרבה אנשים שנעזרים בהם, וזה מצווה גדולה מה שהם עושים.
כולם אוידו והמליכו ויאמרו, אוידו והמליכו ויאמרו, יחד כולם אוידו והמליכו ויאמרו, אוידו והמליכו ויאמרו, יחד כולם אוידו.
I came to the office one morning and started working on my computer, and when I went to print, I had a printer error, and it said, printer error, paper finished. So I opened the drawer of the printer, and lo and behold, coiled up inside was a snake. I called my wife, since I remembered that on the back of our front door we have a magnet from Keren Yosef with the phone number of the snake catcher. So the snake catcher comes along and he puts on all his big leather gloves and leather apron and takes the printer outside, takes the toner out, and for about 3 or 4 minutes is shaking the printer, and suddenly, like lightning, the snake comes out the printer and Meir, the snake catcher, catches it in his hand like that. and put it in a jar, and told me that it was a poisonous snake and would have put me in hospital for at least 10 days if it had bitten me. Keren Yosef is a fantastic organization. Thank you for the fridge magnet.
שלום לצופים, שמי סולטן נתן, אני משירותי כבאות והצלה אזור בית שמש. הכרתי את דוריס, זיכרונה לברכה, וישבנו ודיברנו על כל מיני פרויקטים לשפר את מערך הכבאות ברכישה של ציוד מציל חיים, ציוד שאנחנו לא מקבלים אותו באופן שוטף מהמדינה או מהרשויות. אז אנחנו התחלנו בהקמה של יחידת חופשים בתחנת כיבוי. אנחנו עובדים בשיתוף בנושא של הסברה, של בטיחות אש. אנחנו פעם בשנה פותחים את התחנה לציבור הרחב. אנחנו מזמינים אלינו בתי ספר, גנים, מוסדות, בתי אב, מגיעים אלינו, מקבלים הדרכה בנושא של בטיחות אש, הדרכה בנושא של ל"ג בעומר, מדורות ל"ג בעומר, פרסום וכל הפליירים וכל מה שמסביב הלוגיסטיקה לפני הפעולה עצמה. אנחנו עובדים בשיתוף עם קרן יוסף.
My name is Mia Weiss. I now live in Beit Shemesh. About four and a half years ago, we had an incident in our home on January 11th, 3 o'clock in the morning, where the fire alarm, smoke alarm, woke us up. We both jumped out of bed and went to see what happened. We saw a big pillar of fire coming out of the basement window. It was huge. It was as tall as the house. When we, at that point, realized we needed to get everyone out of the house as quickly as possible. When the firefighters arrived, there wasn't that much left to salvage of our house, and they were actually just working on preventing the fire from spreading. So thank God we had those fire smoke alarms in our home to save our lives, because I'm scared to think of what would have happened without them. I highly recommend everybody install smoke alarms in your homes as quickly as possible. They're easy to install, and once they're installed, please make sure that you check your batteries twice a year and make sure that they're working.
My name's Shira Schreibersreder. I live in Ramat Shila on Nachal En Gedi. My mother-in-law bought a Keren Yosef first aid kit, and unfortunately we had to use it on Seder night. The chicken soup came off the hot plate and unfortunately burned my mother-in-law's arm and my daughter's foot. However, I grabbed the first aid kit, which I'd never before seen, and everything inside was so amazingly organized, and everything which I needed was there. So we took out the burn shield stuff, and we took out the bandages which had the clever clip. So we removed them at the end of Seder night, so speaking good for 5-ish hours, and everyone looked wonderful. It was amazing to see the comparison of my mother-in-law who had burned herself on the oven the day before and hadn't used any burn shield.
My name is Yehudis Shamroth. I'm a nurse by training. In addition to Doris being a powerhouse of activity, the tiny little lady packed an enormous neshama and a big doer. She was a role model for the women in this community, including myself. She asked me if I wanted to teach CPR. Because Doris explained to me that there was no one actually presenting or teaching these courses, she felt the women especially were not getting access to this kind of information. Also with first aid and safety in the home and things like that. And she felt that a woman had to go in there and start teaching, which I did. People should know how to resuscitate or save a life if they can possibly do so. It's very easy to learn. Anyone can do it. It just takes a little while to learn, and you can really save someone's life. Since Doris approached me 11 years ago to be part of Keren Yosef, I have probably been part of teaching at least 100 courses to all ages of people in Beit Shemesh and Ramat Beit Shemesh.
If you want to learn this and more, please visit the Keren Yosef website.
לי קוראים שלמה הלל. בהכשרה שלי אני מתעסק פה במשקפיים, הכנה של משקפיים, הצד הטכני, זה בעצם נקרא אופטיקאי. ובין לבין, תודות למה שהציוד שנתרם על ידי קרן יוסף, אני והחברים שלי שגם קיבלו מקרן יוסף, ציוד להצלת חיים, ציוד החייאה, ציוד חבישה וכיוצא בזה. אנחנו יוצאים למקרים באמצע עבודה, באמצע הלילה, בכל רגע נתון. אנחנו חלק אינטגרלי ממד"א. שאתם יודעים, לאמבולנס יש לו מגבלות כאלה ואחרות, הוא לא מפוזר בכל העיר, בכל רחוב, בכל נקודה. אז הכוננים שמקבלים מיד את הקריאה, יוצאים להצלת חיים הזאת. קרן יוסף בעצם מה שהיא עושה, מה שהיא נתנה פה בבית שמש בכלל, זה פשוט הציל אין ספור חיים של אנשים.
Doris, you would never believe what you have started. Many people have been helped, many people have been saved, because you made it your life's ambition, your cause to help the people of Beit Shemesh.
איש חי נמצא ורחוק מפנינים מחירה פותח בו לבדו ושלום לא יחזור שכן אחר והבל אוי בהבל היופי אישו ירס השם